Welcome back, Year 3. Thank you for joining us again today. We are going to be thinking about maths and money in particular. Now, today is our penultimate session on money, which means the second last. We are going to be doing a little bit of word problems today, so some word problems, and we're going to be doing some problem solving. And then tomorrow, we're going to be doing our hot task, which is where we kind of sum up everything we've learned so far and put it into practice. So today I thought it'd be really handy just to sort of go over some of those really common things we've learned, some of the things that we're going to need to use over the next couple of days, and hopefully recap and revise some of these useful strategies we have looked at. So the first thing we're going to need to be able to do is to convert between pounds and pence. So let's start off actually just with that really, really important number fact. How many pence are there in a pound? Yeah, I'm sure you've got that right. It's 100 pence is £1. And I'd like you now, please, to pause the video and use that fact to work out the two questions we have on the board here. Pause the video, come back to me when you're done. Okay, thank you. So 384 pence. Well, we know that the 300 will give us £3, and then we've got the 84 pence left over. £17 in pence is a little bit trickier. We might like to think of this as the 10 and the 7. But certainly we know that it's 100 pence for every pound, so it's 1,700 pence in this case, or 1700 pence. Okay, I'm recording this on Burns Night, which is a very important day in the calendar of all the Scottish people, and I've got the two most traditional Scottish items here. I think it's not offensive if you're Scottish yourself. It's fine. You see, it's fine because I'm Scottish. It's okay. So yeah, very much the drink of my ancestors here, Iron Brew. So what I'd like you to do then is to add up the total cost of this Burns Night supper. We've got haggis for £2.40. And we've got Iron Brew for £1.25. Can I just say, by the way, I'm absolutely shocked and appalled at this. This is borderline offensive. Oh, unbelievable. 2.5 stars. Anyway, so I'd like you to add up the cost of these two items then. I think there's probably a couple of ways we could do this. I'd like you to pause the video here, and then we'll actually look at both the strategies you could use on the next page. So pause the video, add up the total cost of Mr. Vass's Burns Night supper, and come back to the video when you're done. Okay, so a couple of ways I think we could do this. There is the mental strategy we could use, which is that we could add up the pounds, first of all. We could do £2 plus £1, that's £3. And then we could add up the pence as well. We could do 40 plus 25, well, that's 65 pence. So we've got there £3 and 65 pence. So we could have done it using a mental strategy like that, and that's something we looked at a couple of videos ago. The other way, of course, is if we wanted to, we could absolutely have laid that out in a column addition method. As long as we lined up our columns really carefully, and I can see how I've got my ones, I'll put that decimal point in, that would be an absolutely fine way of doing it as well. So over here, I'll just do the written method here for completion's sake. And you can see, obviously, we're going to get the same answer again. It's £3 and 65 pence. So it's not that one strategy is better than the other. And actually, it's useful to have both of those strategies kind of in our back pocket for when we need them. I would say if it's a kind of nice, straightforward number, definitely I think we can make use of that mental strategy. But it's really handy to know, particularly if the numbers are a bit tricky. If it was actually like 78p plus 95p or something, I'd have probably wanted to use that written strategy. Either is fine, both good ways to get the same answer. Okay, so something else we've been using lately is using a number line to count up or indeed count down. And this is a really useful way to find change. So here's another word problem for you. Mr. Vass buys a Portsmouth Football Club shirt for £32.48 and pays with two £20 notes. Use a number line to find out how much change he would get. Now, I've deliberately not put the kind of end figure on there, so I want you to actually have a bit of a think about that. Now, is it £20? hopefully you recognise, well, no, it isn't. So although it does mention £20 in the question, it says he pays with two £20 notes. And what are two £20 notes worth? £40, that's right. Okay, so let's do this stage by stage, my number line here. Whenever we've done these number lines, I've been at pains to say there's no kind of set way that we need to, or no set jump we need to make. So my kind of options here for my first jump, I could make just a kind of little 2p jump to get me to a nice round 50p. If I was feeling a bit more confident, maybe actually I could make that jump in, I'd make a sort of slightly bigger jump and I could do 52p all at once. And there's no kind of correct way of doing it. It's just whatever you are comfortable doing mentally. That means in your head. So I'm going to go a little bit, I'm going to play it safe a little bit, and I'm going to make a little small jump first, which is going to be 2p. And that's just going to get me up to a nice round £32.50. As always, apologies for the penmanship here. It's hard on a laptop. So that's got me to £32.50. Now I'm feeling a bit more confident after that I can get up to the nearest pound. So that's an extra 50p. As I said, I could have done that all in one jump. If I'd felt really confident, I could have just done the 52p all in one go if I'd spotted that would have got me up to the next pound. But I can do it in smaller jumps as well. Smaller jumps are just as valid. So that extra 50p on, that's got me to £33. Now again, I could do that all in one jump. Maybe if I'm not feeling so confident, I could do that in smaller ones. I could do £2 to get it to £35 and then up to 40. I'm feeling confident though. I think 33 to up to 40. I know what that jump is. £33 to £40. That's £7. And by counting on like that, I've found the total change that I'm going to receive. So I'm going to need to add this up. And for me, it's going to make sense actually to kind of read this backwards. I'm going to have £7.52. That's the change that I received there, £7.52 in total. Okay, we're also going to see some questions today that involve a bar diagram. Now, I don't want anyone to get confused by a bar diagram. It's a bit unlike a number line, where the number line was actually the strategy we used to solve it itself. We were drawing on the number line, we used that number line to help us to solve the problem. A bar diagram in and of itself isn't going to help you to solve the question, but what it can do is to help you to visualize what you've got to work out. And particularly when there's a lot of numbers involved, like this one, I think it can be really handy just to sort of sketch out a little bar diagram and just actually see what it looks like, see what the question's asking you. Particularly if you get a word problem where you're kind of scratching your head a little bit and going, do you know what, I can't make sense of this. I can't work out what it's asking me to do. It's sometimes a good idea to draw a bar diagram to help you. So Mr. Neves wants to buy a book for £6.70 and a drink for £1.85. How much change will he get from a £10 note? So you can see from my drawing here, my bar diagram, that my £6.70 and my £1.85 are going to kind of bond together, and that will still be a bit less than £10 because it's talking about getting change from a £10 note, and it's that bit that we've got to work out. So this is what I'm going to call a two-step problem, and I spoke a little bit about this in a previous video as well, where there's going to be two things we need to do to find the answer. So I wonder if you can have a think what the two things, or at least what actually the first thing I'm going to need to do is. So have a quick chat at home. What would you suggest is the first thing I need to do? Okay, I think what would be really handy is to add these two together. So that's what I'm going to do first of all. So hopefully this will work. I'm going to type this on the board. We're going to have £6.70 and £1.85. So I'm going to be adding these together. That's super. So again, for this, I would say I'm looking at that going, oh, do you know what? I'm not really confident doing that in my head. So I'm going to use a column addition method. Of course, that's absolutely fine. You can always do that. 0 plus 5, that's 5. 7 plus 8, I know that that's 15. Mustn't forget my decimal point. That's my little dot in between my pounds and pence. So I'm going to put that in there as well. And then I've got 6 plus 1 plus 1. That's 8. So now I know the total cost that Mr. Neves has spent is £8.55, but that's not my answer, because the answer is how much change will he get from a £10 note? And this is where we're going to need to do that second step. So this is a bit of a tricky word problem. It's got two parts to it. I would suggest now the best way of doing this is probably with a number line and counting on. So again, I'm going to put £8.55 here, and I'm going to put £10. Sorry, I should have my pound sign there, really, shouldn't I? And there as well. And I'm going to do this. I think I'm feeling confident I can do this in 2 jumps. So I'm going to get up to the next pound, and I know that to get up to £9, it's going to have to be 45 pence. Added on 45 pence, and that's got me to £9. And then what do I need to add on to £9 to make it £10? That's nice and straightforward, isn't it? That's an extra £1 here. So no, there's an awful lot of maths on the screen here, isn't there? I think it's really important we actually think, right, what is our answer? So I've got loads on the screen there, including enough to work out the proper answer, but what is it? So we've added up the total cost of the book and drink, and that was £8.55. And now we've counted up to £10 to see what the change we're going to get back is. And that is £1.45. Okay, so over the next few screens then, I'm going to have for you a mild, medium and a spicy page. So it's up to you which set you do. So if you're not feeling too confident with this, maybe you've been struggling a little bit, that's completely fine. Have a go at the mild ones. If you're feeling okay, yeah, I'm ready to give this my best shot, have a go at medium. If you're really flying, you're thinking, no problem, Mr. Vass, I'm feeling confident, give me the hard stuff, you can have a go at spicy. So as always, pause the video on the right page for you, have a go at your questions, and then I'll have the answers at the end of the video. Okay, no peeking. Here are the answers. Okay, fantastic. Hopefully you have got on okay with that. Hopefully you found that all right. I will see you back here tomorrow for our maths video, which is going to be tomorrow our hot tasks. That's us using, applying, and really kind of showing off everything that we've learned along the way. So I'll see you back here in time for that. Have fun.